Welcome back to the verdict. We're having a conversation around the preparations for the elections. What's INEC's plan? As we heard from Mr. Yekami, they've drawn some lessons from the
and they've had a series of meetings
with all the stakeholders, and hopefully things. Oh, he said things will be different. So
he said, I think he said we're good to go.
Well, actually, before we took the break, we asked him a question. And we asked him to think about it.
But
we won't go to him yet.
Let's go to Kayla first.
We won't go to
Sokoto State.
Yes, we have Kayla Megwa.
Yes, telling us all about preparations right there where she is. Kayla?
Do we actually have
if you can hear us, Kayla.
Good evening.
Fantastic. Go on, Kayla.
Okay, so this is the INEC office in Sokoto. We just got into town, actually, and we decided to come here straight. Very little action going on over here, but we can see from the people we've spoken to, the resident electoral commissioner is actually supposed to be here, but he wouldn't be here for maybe an hour or two. He said he was going to talk to us a little bit, but we were checking the state of preparedness for the elections tomorrow, and things seem to be in high gear here in Sokoto. Even seeing people from the federal level here, people who are going to input the data when the collation starts. And a lot of the staff are ready. We've talked to a few, even journalists. We talked to a few journalists that
was trying to tell us who she's spoken to.
And she said she's waiting for the resident electoral commissioner.
Get there, and also saying that nothing much happening where she is.
Where she is, well, at the office. Okay.
Okay, there she is. Carry on, Kayla. We were asking what else you've been able to find out. Yes, you just got there, but what else have you been able to find out from journalists?
All right, so, okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and give an update on what's going on here because I can't really hear you very clearly. Basically, the information that we're getting in Sokoto State is that they're expecting a very peaceful voting process tomorrow. The 23 local governments, they're going to be getting all of their materials have been sent to many of the 23 local governments. In fact, the reason why we're here waiting for the resident electoral commissioner is because they've gone to do some inspection tonight to see exactly how things are and if the coppers, all the people who are supposed to be on ground tomorrow, if they are ready for the situation. So pretty big state, so there's a lot of places to cover, 23 local government areas. The INEC office is actually at the city center. The contest here in Sokoto is basically going to be between the APC and the PDP, Mr. Ahmad Aliyu of the APC and Governor Aminu Tambuwal of the PDP. He will be voting at the Tambuwal local government area, which is pretty far from here. It's about an hour 30 minutes from this place. But Aliyu Ahmad of the APC is going to be voting right here in the city center. So we're looking forward to that particular situation. In fact, as I'm looking, I think the resident electoral commissioner has just walked in and we're going to us in a bit about the situation and how ready they are for the elections.
Kayla, just one other thing, just to do with security. Anything to do with that? Have you had any preparations, or what do you see on ground from the mood about how they feel about security tomorrow?
Security is very, very tight here. In fact, coming into Sokoto this evening, you know, we could see that they were checking for everything. They checked us so many times as we're entering into town. So security is very tight in the city. But usually Sokoto is not one of those places where you have a lot of, you know, crises and things like that during the election. Usually a pretty peaceful process in Sokoto State. And they're expecting no less this time for the governorship assembly elections. But you know, it has been a very dramatic few weeks, in fact dramatic few years really, if you look at the situation that's gotten them to watch. I'm looking to my right at the resident electoral commissioner. We're trying to see if we can get him to talk to us about the state of preparedness for the election, so we can you know, get a feel of what the situation is. Good evening, sir. So sorry to have dragged you out of his car. We've been here for a while waiting for him. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Well done.
Well, talk to us a bit about the state of preparedness. I know you've gone around right now to check on things and whatnot, but tell us about the situation for the elections tomorrow.
Well, looking around the office, you will be able to tell me also yourself that we are looking a bit at ease because all our materials have gone to the rack centers. We are ready for takeoff, and I'm just coming from some of the rack centers to see the security situation there, and I can assure you they are perfect.
Well, some of the questions people are asking me, because it's been a very, very dramatic few years in Sokoto State, especially with the APC and the PDP and the various defections. The contest tomorrow, what's your thinking about it? Do you feel like it's going to be peaceful? You know, what's the feel around the city?
Well, we have been talking to the politicians and all the stakeholders that it is good we make this contest peaceful so that everybody can see. Going back to what we have done, particularly the politicians are going to play by the rule.
Just a message for the people who are coming out to vote tomorrow, who are watching this in Sokoto.
Let them vote for their conscience. Everybody is free to vote whatever he wants to. Our job here is to make sure that whatever people say they want is what we like. We don't have any choice.
Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you so much. All right, so that's the resident electoral commissioner for Sokoto State. He just walked in and got to tell us exactly what I've been telling you. It's very chill, really, here in the office, and everyone is looking forward to a peaceful contest tomorrow, which we will be giving you updates on.
Thanks a lot, Kayla. Let me let you go. Glad you were able to get him there as he got out of his car. Couldn't say no to that interview. Thanks a lot, Kayla Megwa, over there in Sokoto State. Interesting how she said the 23 local government areas to cover, and also talking about how ready the core members are, right?
Indeed. The northwest part of the country is not normally known as a flashpoint of violence for elections. Elections come and go peacefully from those areas, and she seemed to be quite at ease there.
So chilled.
Yes, right. Actually, that's the word, yeah, that is chilling, you know, and we hope it remains that way throughout tomorrow, and we'll expect to hear from Kayla at some point in the course of tomorrow.
Okay. While we're still hoping to talk to Kayla again, who is having fun, chilling, Mr. Bashir is here.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, don't worry. Mr. Bashir, now, while we're waiting for Mr. Yekomi to come on and tell us exactly what information he has as regards people living with physical challenges thereabout, there's this thing he said earlier about how they're treated when they come to the polling unit, how they're given priority, sort of, how they're assisted to do the different things just so that they're not pressured while they're there to vote. Isn't that something worth celebrating or being happy about?
Well, yes, we can say it's something, you know, worth being happy about. But, you know, the way and manner it is done, to me, appears to be one of pity rather than a matter of right. We would have wanted priority queuing to be part of the Electoral Act for persons with disabilities, so that, you know, when a person with disability comes to the polling center, he is immediately directed to the area reserved for persons with disabilities. For example, a deaf person, for instance, has no visibility about his disability. So when he comes to the center, I mean, he's pushed around, he's shunned, and so on. But if he knows that there's a particular area that he can go to cast his vote, separate from others, then, of course, he will go there and not be, you know, despised.
Okay, but wouldn't that be, I mean, if you have to, if they get to be separated from the rest of the people, wouldn't that also be seen as some form of segregation?
No, not really, because in certain aspects, you have to make a difference, you know, because you know the way elections are conducted in Nigeria. People are pushing and shoving. You know, just like you have priority queuing for women in Toda in some parts of the country, it's more preferable to have priority queuing for persons with disabilities, people in wheelchairs.
This is another question that you would have to think about again, unless you have the immediate answer to give to us. In the last election, approximately 26 million voters or thereabout came out to vote in the presidential elections. And we're going to, as what they'll say, a tougher series of elections across 29 states or thereabout, and 36, where, as the case may be. How many of the 26 million voters that came out were accredited via the card reader? And is it possible for us to know that? Think about that as we take this break. We'll be back shortly.